Imagine you're creating a cinematic masterpiece. How long does that usually take? A few months, maybe even years. Now we're seeing the potential to create movies in hours. So today we're diving into the world of AI filmmaking with Google's latest creations, Veo 3 and Flow. Think of it like giving Spielberg an AI assistant who doesn't sleep, eat, or, I don't know, demand a high salary or a trailer. So remember the early days of AI-generated videos? They were like watching a really bad fever dream. Blurry, confusing, and frankly, mostly terrifying. His eyes are like drooping. Oh, and she became a vampire at one point. Oh my God, that's scary. You get the picture. So we saw Veo 1 and 2 come in, improve things, but honestly, the output still gave me the heebie-jeebies. This week was Google I/O. I was there. And with Veo 3, video and audio is now syncing up. And we're seeing these like incredible mind-bending demos. So an actual entire Twitch streamer that can be generated by AI. Okay, so this is the Twitch streamer demo that I watched.
Okay, so this is how you start. You find a tree and you just...
His eyes are really big, but it's, wow.
Okay, so this is how you start.
Yeah, that was amazing. And then we also saw a short that was made by an Oscar-nominated director, Darren Aronofsky. Okay, and this is the...
This was supposed to be a checkup.
Wow.
Baby's in distress. We need help here.
We need to go.
This is my baby.
Oh my God.
We'll do everything we can.
Am I gonna be okay?
For every creature.
That's a real actress. I wonder how they put her in. Oh my God. Okay, I'm definitely getting Darren Aronofsky vibes. Premiering June 13th, that's amazing. So it's really obvious here, right? That like Veo 3 is by contrast feeling like graduating from finger painting to directing your own IMAX blockbuster. It's just feeling like it's not just an incremental improvement, it feels like a quantum leap for generative media. So what did I do? I started playing around with Veo 3. And what I'm finding is that at its core, it's like a unified video and audio generative AI model. It's from Google DeepMind. It takes text or image prompts and spits out realistic clips with fully synthesized soundtracks and dialogue. So it's like ambient noise, character voices, they're all generated natively by the model.
I'll stop you here and now, evil one.
You don't need to feed it audio files, it just knows. And so the result is like cinematic footage you can almost smell, maybe? If AI could replicate olfactory sensors, we'd be there already. So why don't we go into Flow and start playing around with Veo 2 first, because I want to compare the outputs of Veo 2 versus Veo 3. I almost want to see how it would create Tommy Wiseau's, or recreate Tommy Wiseau's The Room. Maybe if all the characters were played by cats. So let's go in and give that a try. So here's what I did. When I first went into Flow and Veo 3, it asked me to upgrade. So you do need to upgrade to Flow Pro. All right, so I'm in Flow right now, and let's actually create a new project, and let's generate a video. Recreate Tommy Wiseau's The Room, but with cats, and all the characters played by cats. I'm not really sure if this is going to work because it's probably copyrighted, but let's give it a shot. Okay, so we're at 1%, and it looks like it's generating 2 specific examples. So let's let it create its magic and generate. While it's doing that, I was curious as to how Google Business subscribers could get access. Turns out that Google's rolling out Veo 3 to Ultra subscribers of the Gemini app in the US, and then enterprises can access it via Vertex AI. All right, back at it, and here's our result. So it doesn't really know what Tommy Wiseau is, but it did generate some really cute cats in a room, and I do the second version, actually. Oh, that was weird. That tongue action is really weird. Okay. All right, let's try again. Let's actually make these cats. Oh, they even have a little cat butler in the second one. Okay, let's make these cats. So add some John Wick style backgrounds and imagery, and make one of the cats into Keanu Reeves. All right, generating again. So it does look like you have access to your older generations as well. I really like the ability to add to scene. I'm just kind of comparing this to Sora. I think one of the really good decisions Veo 3 made and the DeepMind team made was they worked on Flow, like a full AI filmmaking tool, so that you could actually add scenes and create a full narrative and storyboard. Okay, looks like we're ready. Let's take a look at this. Oh, nothing. Oh, wait. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that's the stuff of nightmares. Okay. I like Sith Cat. That works. You're a cutie. Okay. Now let's actually create some scenes. So I'm going to add this to my scene. And then, okay, so let's see. Now I have a full 8-second scene. Have the Sith Cat enter into a room and start fighting with a lightsaber. Also make it fall in love with Padme Cat. Maybe it'll come up with a scene that's better than the second Star Wars film. It's like sand. It gets everywhere. Okay, let's do this. So I tried Veo 2 to compare the outputs and what really comes out from both. So let's give it a shot again. And let's go into settings. We still want 2 outputs per prompt. If you're going to select 4, that's going to use up a lot of your tokens. And then quality, highest quality, and then we're also going to get experimental audio. So have a Sith Cat enter into a room, start fighting with a lightsaber, also make it fall in love with Padme Cat. This is the beginning of a wonderful new relationship. Not to say Veo 2 didn't do a good job. This has some very Dexter's Lab type of vibes, but let's try again and see what we get here. Oh, while it's generating, in order to get access to Ultra, I basically had to upgrade. It was about $129 for 3 months of access. Still fairly expensive, but let's see what kind of token limits we hit on that plan. Yay, our videos are ready. Okay.
Now, we're gonna take our crushed ice and fill the glass.
What? Crushed ice? Okay. That's so weird.
Whoosh!
Oh my God, who was that at the end? Oh God. Nightmare. But okay, the beginning was so cute. Let's add this to the scene. And okay, next, have a battle against good and evil and have start to talk. Okay. I would suggest being much more descriptive with your prompts. What I wanted to do was just show you how quickly you can create videos with this, but my recommendation is have a storyboard ready in advance and think through the script and think through what you actually want your characters to say. You want to be as descriptive as possible with backgrounds, with your characters, and then also with their dialogue. I will say it's interesting that Veo 2 made the creative direction or decision really to use Dexter's Lab or just style animation, Cartoon Network style animation, yet Veo 3 decided to make it much more realistic. And then of course the decision on what to say, that was weird too, but still very cool. 99%, we're almost ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1, premiere. No, still waiting. Okay, we're ready. All right, let's go.
You are a disgrace! I will not let you corrupt this land.
Let's see our creation all together and play. So Kitty enters room, and then we had the weird lady in the back. Oh, and then the style completely changed. All right. Oh, that's so weird. Okay. Still very early. That's my take on this. I still think what it created at the very beginning, amazing. And usually first shot at a prompt, sometimes you get magic at the very beginning. So Veo 3 is available on the Ultra plan. And you need to cough out about $130 for about 3 months. They have a promo going on right now for personal Google accounts, and enterprises can access it via Vertex AI, which is really through the API. So we tried and tested Veo 2 versus Veo 3. Now let's make this personal. How can you actually use these tools right now? So firstly, if you're a content creator, instead of renting gear, you could potentially whip up engaging shorts or explainer videos in hours. You may need to use other kinds of avatar tools in order to actually get your avatar right, or your personal avatar, but still pretty early. I think as an educator though, you could build interactive historical reenactments. So for example, like Rome's Forum in 3D or Socrates teaching philosophy, and you can narrate it with AI, with authentic sounding accents. Now, as a marketer, you could A/B test multiple versions without a full shoot. You could compare messaging, visuals, and audio. I actually think it would work really well for A/B tests in particular, especially when you just want to show it to a panel or to a team. And then as an indie filmmaker, you could prototype festival-ready shorts, potentially even fundraise with some AI-generated teasers. So as early as it is, I still think that the real-world use cases are pretty mind-boggling. And so is it possible that people are going to be dropping out of film schools to create this? No, although I do think film schools could add prompt writing courses. And so I'm excited. I think there's so much that people can unlock and do. I will say this, I did hit many bugs while using Veo 3, especially in the scene Filmmaker. And current clip lengths, they're hovering in the single-digit seconds, low double-digit range. I was able to get up to like about 8 seconds. But even at this proof of concept stage, we're seeing Veo and Flow, they're going to signal a seismic shift for AI-generated video. Now, we can't ignore the ethical elephant in the room. When tools get this powerful, deep fakes, misinformation, those are all going to loom at large. But I do think that ultimately it's on creators to wield this power, and great power comes great responsibilities. Hopefully, we as content creators will be wielding it responsibly. I do think longer feature film generation is on the horizon. So as the tools themselves get better, and let's see what happens from a token limit perspective, but as tokenization improves, we're just going to see the fact that feature-length films will become a reality. I also think real-time collaboration will look really interesting. So imagine multiple creators, editors, they're feeding notes into Flow simultaneously. I do think, though, that the future of AI filmmaking is here, even as early as it is. So there you have it. That was a turbocharged tour of Veo 3 and Flow. It's Google's bold bet that AI can democratize blockbuster-grade video production. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, but it is a bit unnerving. I do constantly believe that as AI natives, we can take a peek at what's possible tomorrow, but really being able to use these tools to our advantage, I think it's super, super exciting. Plus, I'm curious as to what you're going to be making. So maybe drop some of your shorts in the comments below, or even tell me what you'd like to see next. Maybe I can take some of your prompts and whip up some scenes as well. So smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into tech that's changing our world and reshaping it. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep imagining. Cheers.